Your team is not confused, and they are not unmotivated. They are not waiting for you to do more. They are waiting for one thing, and I promise you, it's not what most leaders think it is. Hi, I'm Tammy Imlay. I'm an executive leadership strategist and advisor, and this is a Leader's Purpose podcast. You're sitting in a seat where the decisions you make are visible, impactful, and felt by everyone around you. You carry the weight of the organization, and everyone around you knows it, which means everyone pulls on you constantly. And most of what you've been handed about leadership isn't wrong. It's just backwards. I spent years studying what drives performance at the highest levels. And each week I bring you what I've learned, the patterns, the reframes, and the things no one's saying out loud so that you can stop managing your leadership and start trusting it. You already have what it takes. This is where you get to remember that. So let's do this. Quick thing before we get in, if you've been listening to the series and you want to go deeper with what's already working in you, I've got a free private audio series called The Invisible Weight. 6 episodes. When you click on it, it goes straight to your phone where you listen to podcasts. So Spotify, Apple Podcast. It's just a conversation where most leaders at your level don't get to have. And the link is in the show notes. So it's called The Invisible Weight. Here we go. So last week, I talked about the decision that you had already settled and what it costs to keep auditing it, something that your gut has already closed and you keep opening it. Well, this week, we're staying in the same world because when you stop reopening your own decisions, something interesting happens. Your team picks up a different signal from you. So if your team keeps routing things back to you, the questions that should have answers, decisions that should have already been made, things that you've already talked about, I want you to hear this because this is a signal, not about your team, but about information. The leaders who change this aren't the ones who get better at delegating. They're the ones who realize what their team was missing. And it was almost never more direction. It was the picture that the leader already had. So let me tell you what this looks like from the inside. The same question comes back 3 different ways. You answer it, you're clear about your answer, and then it comes back again. Your back-to-back meetings, your inbox fills up in between them. Your team is smart, capable, and really good at what they do. And somehow everything still routes through you. And you start to wonder, is this a people problem? Is it a skill problem? Or is it me? And here's the thing. You probably already know it's not a skill problem. Your team understand the tasks. They can execute. They know what to do in the abstract. But there's a gap between knowing the task and knowing the why behind it. And when the gap exists, when the team has the what, but not the why, they come back to you every time something falls outside of the lines. So let me tell you a story here about a team that I worked with. And I worked with this team that looked exactly like this from the outside. So that was really good people. They're very capable. Execution was solid, but the questions didn't stop. The leader was the answer to everything. And the team understood their tasks at a concept level, but they didn't have the full picture. And what they were missing wasn't training and it wasn't motivation. They didn't have the why behind the work. They didn't have the strategic context that the executive leadership team had. They knew what they were doing. They didn't know why it mattered at the level that would let them make their own calls. So the one thing the leader did, one meeting, she brought the whole team in, not to give instructions and not to course correct, but to give them the full picture, the why behind the strategy, the context the executive team had, the one they've been operating from that the team never had been handed. And so she opened the floor. She let them ask questions. She let them see how their work connected to the larger thing that they were all building, the unspoken mission and vision of the CEO, and insight to the behind the closed door meetings that the leadership had that the teams didn't. And then something shifted. The questions stopped completely. No, they didn't stop completely, but they changed. There we go. They didn't stop completely. They changed. Instead of what should I do here, it became, I ran into this situation. Here's 3 options I see. Do you have a preference? Or should we just loop in finance team since it hits their numbers too? that was a completely different conversation. The team didn't need more direction. They needed more context. They weren't waiting for permission. They were waiting for the picture that makes independent judgment possible. And your team isn't coming back to you because they can't handle it. They're coming back to you because they don't have what they need to trust their own read on the situation. Does that sound familiar? So here's what I want for you. I want you to walk into a Monday where your inbox has a different kind of message in it. Not, hey, can you weigh in on this? But here's the situation. Here are the options. Here's my recommendation. Do you want to sign off it or should I just move forward? I want you to be in a meeting where your team is 3 steps ahead, not because you pushed them there, but because they've had enough of the big picture to get it there themselves. And the leader I told you about, after that one meeting, she told me something I have never forgotten. She says, I didn't even realize I had been carrying the whole strategy in my head. Like somehow, because I've had multiple meetings talking about it, I forgot they didn't. But when I gave it to them, they ran with it faster than I expected. You are already the leader who can do this. The picture is already in your head, and the question is whether you're going to give it to them. And one question I want to leave you with this week. What strategic context are you carrying in your head that your team doesn't have? Not because you're protecting it, because it never occurred to you that they didn't already have it or that they needed it. That's the question. I want you to sit with it. And we are 2 episodes into the series, and here's what I want you to feel. You already have the team. You already have what the team needs from you. The wiring's there. Your instincts are intact. And sometimes what changes everything is just deciding to hand people the picture that you've been holding. And if you want to go deeper on what you've already been carrying, if you want to go deeper on looking at some of the gaps that you are experiencing, then get on a call. Let's chat. Let's talk about what is really going on in your situation. One thing I love about this work is that these leadership concepts that we've in school and meetings by mentors, they're not wrong. Like I mentioned, they're kind of backwards. And one thing I love about this work is when we start to open the box, when we start to kind of flip it and look at the foundation of how you're wired, how you make decisions, and what the gaps are, things shift quickly. So get on a call and let's talk. TammyMarieCoaching.com/call, and I'll see you next week. Bye for now.